Well, I think nothing happens outside the providence of God, but that doesn't mean that God likes the evil that we do. And whether, I mean, your question may be, supposing you have a religious cult of a sort, could God be revealing God's self in and through that to its members? Well, I'd have to know a lot more about it. It's possible. I mean, God somehow is in all things, but it's also possible. I mean, we do have to test what we say is a revelation, and we test it in terms of certain perceptions that I think also are God-given of what is right and what is wrong, what makes sense or not in terms of how we act toward one another. Which is why, for example, a lot of people can't be Christians because they think Christians have harmed a lot of other people. And they're right. So the Christians, there has to be a lot more in Christianity than the Crusades and the persecutions that they have inflicted and the anti-Semitic. There has to be a lot more in it than that, or else it can't be a really God-bearing religious tradition. So the Branch Davidians, I don't know. They may have been just a misguided, even... I mean, I don't know that they were evil. I don't know. I never met one of them. I never talked to them, and I have not actually studied whatever it was they stood for. According to their public image, they stood for opposition to government in the forms that we have it. Well, one can understand some of the critiques that can be placed. Did they also want to go out and wreak havoc? I mean, we have had people whom we have considered literally out of their minds who have gone around saying they had to kill people because they were evil or because Satan told them to or whatever it might be. I mean, one has to test that and say, is this a distortion of anything like what the God that seems to be the God we believe in, who completely exceeds our ideas of such a being, but nonetheless, I mean, one does have to test the spirit, I think. So it's not anything goes, and God is in all things in the same way, saying, here's where I'm calling you to be. But what can people do? I mean, what can anyone do? And this is deep in the Roman Catholic tradition, although sometimes it doesn't seem to be, which is all we can do is follow our light as we have it, and follow our conscience as it operates within us. Now that doesn't mean I say, well, this seems okay for me to do it, or this is what God is saying. No, test the spirit. That's why we study religion, by the way. That's why we study theology. That's why we study ethics, because we don't take anything for granted, it seems to me.